What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be going ahead and taking care of all this rust that's building up on the unpainted elements that I've added. Everything's getting pretty dusty, so I'm just going to go ahead and start pulling this go-kart apart and painting it. Alright, so I've got the entire go-kart disassembled into its basic components. I mean, there's a few things I'm leaving on, such as the axle for now. I'll probably take that off because that could honestly use a paint job as well, just to keep it from rusting. But I'll worry about that at a later date when I swap the rear sprocket. But I mean, I'm leaving things like the brake caliper on because I'm probably not going to be painting in around there. More just need to hit this stuff, clean that stuff up. All these new components which we've added recently. This entire front end needs to be sanded down and then polished and then painted. I've got the control arm off, the control arms, got the traction bar off, got the steering column out. Everything's off, including the motor. And yeah, I mean, breaks down into some pretty basic components. There's really not that much here to paint. I'm just going to go ahead and paint all this stuff except for the exhaust pipes, just because I don't have any high temperature paint. I just have that Rust-Oleum stuff over there. But all the other stuff can get a paint job and make it look a little better, and also get rid of some of this rust that's been eating away at the frame. Alrighty, so gonna go ahead and start sanding this. I just hit this right here with a quick blast on the sander with the 120 grit sanding disc, and I mean that took all the rust right off that spot. And so I'm gonna go ahead and hit this entire thing with it, all the little components that are rusted. Gonna hit those as well, and then I'll go over it with the wire wheel to kind of shine it up a little bit, get all of that dust off there and all the little bits and pieces. Like you can see this little bit of weld wire that's stuck, stuff like that. It'll just knock right off. It'll clean all the dust off of it and get it all nice and clean for painting. Then I'll go ahead and wash it off with a hose, get all the dust and stuff, because as you can see, even from just building and stuff, there's a ton of just metal shavings and little chips and everything just everywhere. So I need to get all that stuff off before I start applying paint to this thing. So I'll go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so I've been working on cleaning this thing up for a little while. Got pretty much all the rust off of all these major spots. Got it all wire wheeled, cleaned up all the weld joints. Got them all looking half decent. I mean, I'm not too worried about making it perfect. I mean, as I've seen with this stuff, the paint gets scratched and it starts to rust anyway, so I'm gonna have to end up repainting it again sometime anyway. And also probably change the color scheme, because just plain old gray is a little boring. And I've also been told by some people that this thing is ugly. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to go ahead and leave a comment and tell me what color scheme I should do with this thing, I'd greatly appreciate it, because I am far from the artistic type to be able to tell what I should paint it, what would look good. So if you guys have any ideas, leave that in the comment section below. But what I'm going to be doing now, while I'm at it and I have the axle and stuff off, you'll notice, so this is where the pillow mount mounts for the bearings. You know, so this is relatively unsupported. All that's supported by is these welds on these angle brackets here, which means if I hit a bump too hard, this could be prone to breaking or potentially even bending. So what I did over here, it was super easy because there's this tray right here which I use as the battery tray. I just ended up welding a piece of steel straight down. That'll gives it nice rigidity and it's not going anywhere. So what I did is I just ran and got some angle iron, and I got this little piece of steel. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the angle iron across here and then have this come straight up from there into the angle iron to kind of hold it in place. And I'll just weld that real quick, take care of it. This way I don't have to worry about taking the paint off again and then repainting it later. Might as well just take care of it now. So I'll go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so we got everything all nice and welded up, and not too bad, but kind of crappy at the same time. So now we can go ahead and start painting it. Alrighty, so I got all the components over here, all painted on both sides. The top side is all dry, so I went ahead and flipped it over, painted at least the majority of the bottom side. I kind of ran out of paint for some of these areas, so it's a little spotchy, but I mean, it's the underside. You're never going to see it, and it's more about just keeping the rust off of it. So unfortunately, daylight's kind of fading, so I'm going to have to go ahead and reassemble this in the dark so you guys won't be able to see it, but tomorrow I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I got the go-kart all reassembled with the fresh paint on it. It's looking fairly nice. Got some grass on there, unfortunately, from when I mowed, but you know, this thing's destined to be dirty, so fairly happy with how it turned out. Definitely is stopping the rust. Looks a little bit better. Definitely have to paint the wheels though, because they're pretty ugly, but that's task for some other time.